Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
The daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and close your eyes the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Ken Plume from @KenPlume on the Twitters.
Well, thanks
Parlor? Did you join Parlor yet?
Like all the frogs in the meeting and Muppets Take Manhattan. Jill.
What about Ocean Breeze soap? It gets you clean. Thanks for coming back, Ken, for minute 50. 50.
You did it.
I made it. Do I get a trophy?
Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Episode 8.
Everyone gets a trophy.
Minute 50 starts with Luke telling Rey to breathe, and it ends with Luke asking Rey what's inside her. He's gonna open her up like a Russian doll.
Got her like a fish.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever meditated?
I tried it once with an app.
I know the pandemic seemed to have gotten a lot of people to try it out with apps and things like that. So I was curious if
I didn't want to be more present during this.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know that I have that within me. I got
Have you, Alex?
Inside me?
Yeah.
What about you?
I've done it. I've really been into the idea of doing it, but I've never gotten into it. My wife has gotten more into it.
Did this scene change your mind?
No, I don't think so. Because once she realized she couldn't make anything float, she's like, "This is horse pucky."
This is
Can
very
I control
dumb.
people? Can I make things float?
But anyway, Luke's thing here reminds me of what people say about meditation. Becoming, one with every. Listen to your breathing and all that,
right.
all that stuff like that. So
Yeah, but it leads her someplace else, which you'll find out on the minute. I'm not part of. I'm sure in the future. Which it seems like anytime you open yourself up to the Force, it just takes you straight to the dark side, no matter who you are.
Well, it is easier and more seductive, so it's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's for lazy meditation.
It's easy to. I wonder, that would be an interesting side effect of meditation if it drew you to the dark side immediately. I'd be more interested in meditation if there was the danger of
the risk of
getting sucked into the dark side.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. What if your guru just told you there was a risk, even though there really wasn't, but just wanted you to feel like you were doing something cool?
So, Pete, have you ever meditated? Is there a risk of the dark side?
Right.
Too old.
Right. Is there any chance that I will encounter anything that will forever dominate my destiny?
But I like that this is
a good use of stock footage.
It is a good use of stock footage. You get to see a baby porglets. We get to see porglets and pork eggs.
We get to see the entirety of their life cycle.
pretty much. They should show Chewie eating it when it was violence.
That's what it is. Violence. I said should have totally been Chewie. Just sort of
as he turns the camera and just sort of joyously just waves it.
But it made me retroactively more disappointed in the prequels, in that the prequels don't have any sort of let's take our breath, catch our breath, and watch someone learn how to use the Force. Way, which I think are always strong scenes. All the scenes with Yoda, everyone quotes all those Yoda, Easternisms all the time. Right. So the prequels don't have any such.
Yeah, but it was like a Jedi factory.
Right.
But I mean,
at the academy, they had a lot of students. They had to push them through. They had a whole curriculum. They had to.
That would have
been
an interesting contrast, because if we're trying to show that the Jedi have lost their way, that would have been to show the Jedi being okay. So first of all, the Force is about floating stuff and making people.
Please turn to page 10 in your Force booklet.
Right. We got that a tiny bit with the kids that Yoda is teaching. He was teaching a bunch of them at once.
Liam.
Yeah, Liam, the Shades.
Yeah, totally. They have lightsabers and they're little kids. Luke had to run around with ropes.
Yeah, but we don't know if he was there was a once a month that Yoda would come down and do a special, we got Yoda today when he's not doing council business.
Yeah. They should have shown it more like Hogwarts, where we really got a sense of what was going on with the kids at the Jedi Academy.
I think that's a whole different series. It's a good, Jedi Academy series.
Yeah,
that we can. If you follow the internet casting stuff, you get Sebastian Stan to play Luke. You get him to play like 30s Luke.
Maybe that's where the Jedi thing falls down, is when there isn't that sort of one-on-one attention to it because of the temptations of the dark side, and you get a distance.
The temptations are on the dark side?
Yes.
What about the four tops?
The four tops are on the light side.
Sure.
The four stops.
Yeah. So maybe that was where that not having that attention. I mean, maybe it was because of Luke's focus being divided that Ben was able to stray and fall under Snoke's sway.
Well, especially now that we know that Baby Yoda was there also. Who's going to pay attention to Ben Solo when you got Baby Yoda there,
Yeah.
You got all the attention.
That's
He's going
a
to get all the
distraction, all shenanigans. It's like, I got to go attend to Baby Yoda again. Oh, Grogu. Oh, Ben, I'll be back in a minute. Grogu problem.
Yeah.
Grogu. Has anybody seen Grogu?
If Kylo Ren turned to the dark side because he was envious of how much attention Luke was giving to Baby Yoda, and that's why Snoke was like, "I'll train you," and so,
I'll give you attention.
Yeah.
Grogu's like, not the Jedi.
I want to see if they want them to do a special edition, Last Jedi, where we see Grogu at the Academy when it's getting blown up. Maybe like when Luke's coming out of the rocks and stuff, you could show Baby Yoda there being like, "Oh," something like that in the little,
or just on his back.
Yeah, although he would be a teenager by that time, so he'd be all obnoxious. Maybe
maybe he was
one
all
of the
of
Knights
6
of
inches
Ren.
taller.
Right. Well, that's so you cut to he's in his room. His hut has been kind of destroyed, but he's still sitting in his room with his headphones on.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. No, and he's like drawing pictures of dragons or something.
Just quickly puts it out as he hears the knights approaching, thinking it's Luke.
Yeah,
smoking. I'm not.
He's like gazing at a picture of the Mandalorian. I'm like, oh, when's he gonna come back for me?
Right.
Tear. Start singing somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Going back for a second to the Force montage here.
Yes,
we were still in. Actually, let's step back even further.
I think it's technically a J splice, not a montage.
Going back even further, this, even though he said it last minute, now he says it again. This is the part that was in the trailer when we first saw the trailer. That just breathe,
yes.
and kind of putting her hand on the rock and that whole thing. That was in the trailer, and that was a big kind of.
That was an instruction to the fans.
Important. Well, that too. I mean, it was absolutely. It's like, we're gonna get a Star Wars trailer. Breathe, just breathe. Okay.
I thought
Luke
he was
talks
breed.
in this one.
Hamill speaks.
But then forward again to the Force montage. I wrote down 3 things. I wrote down Wes Anderson, The Simpsons, and Tim Burton. That's kind of what, just specifically
it felt very
kind of
pushing daisies.
Going underground and seeing the skeleton reminded me, well, of like anytime they go from like floor to floor on The Simpsons and you see in between the rafters and stuff, like stuff from old episodes.
So that's The Simpsons.
But also a little bit like Wes Anderson in that it's going, and it seemed almost like stop motion or something, where it's like you cut through and you have this like the kind of cute skeleton, which also then it leads into a little bit less so Tim Burton, but it seemed more like along those lines of.
So what you're saying is we could take this scene and drop a Kinks song on top of it.
Please, I think we should.
Well, by the time you're watching this, hopefully
by this time tomorrow, there will be
a
Kinks song on top of this.
What would it be?
Sunny afternoon.
It has to be something more.
It's got to be twee,
a deeper cut,
but it's got to be twee.
Yeah,
right.
Something with a harpsichord in it. You know what an anti-fan of harpsichords I am.
I will
still trying to sell that from 3 episodes ago.
I will deliver to you the Kinks cut of this scene.
Okay, perfect.
All
Great.
right. And of course, you can't use Waterloo Sunset because that would have to be from episode 1 because you have Terrence Stamp in there.
Yeah. No, it'll be. I will guarantee it'll not be one that has been used in a Wes Anderson film to date. Right. It'll be wholly unique and a deep album cut. I promise to everyone listening to this right now.
She's got a hat like Princess Morena.
Yeah. We're going to do Victoria.
There we go.
Or Do You Remember Walter? That's it. We're doing Do You Remember Walter?
Isn't there a Kinks song that actually mentions Daisy? That would be a good one.
There must be.
I feel like there is one. Anyway.
Wait, so this could all come together. Didn't you just say it seemed like pushing
Come Together is the
daisies?
Beatles. Yeah.
Oh, Come
Pushing
Together. Right? That's
Daisies.
the Beatles. Okay.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, so the force montage is kind of unusual. It's not something that we've really seen.
Have we ever seen a montage? Just period?
I don't. That's what I don't think so. Even if it's not, maybe
this film
montage
has
is
two
not quite
things
the
we
right
haven't
word for it,
seen, right? A
Think so?
montage and flashbacks.
Right?
Have we?
Well,
I don't think we've
did.
ever seen flashbacks to like a way prior time flashback.
Yeah, that's true.
No, yeah.
Star Wars has not had flashbacks up until this point.
Right.
They'll tell the story, but
Yeah.
they won't show you.
Yeah, because flashbacks would have made a lot of stuff totally different.
Yeah.
Like if in New
We would have
Hope,
been
he's
on
like,
to Obi-Wan's bull.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You found the Clone Wars? Yes. Let me put the DVD
no,
and take a look.
we lost the footage.
The story for another time.
But yeah, that I can't. I'm trying to think of another.
Would the Order 66 part count as a montage?
That would be a montage.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I would count that as a montage.
Because you get to see all the
vignettes.
Jedi getting killed. You get
But that's
to see
all stuff that's kind of happening whenever. So it is a montage, yes, but it's not like this is a kind of a more conceptual.
This is a more
artistic
art school
representation. Yeah.
montage.
Yeah, that was more like quick cutting between different scenes
That were happening presumably at
This
the
is
same time.
abstract.
Right.
Yeah, this is more
Representational of these abstract things.
Yeah.
Right.
They were not character beats that were being shown.
How many? I think we talked about this. Oh, actually, we talked about it on Monday with Ray's opera gloves. But how many outfits do
Ray's
you think?
opera gloves are going to be on the show on Monday.
No, this past Monday, I said I liked her opera gloves, and it just made me wonder how
and
many
on Tuesday,
outfits...
you would have seen that Alex was wearing those.
How many ensembles do you think Ray brought with her? Two. Did she? Because she only brought one outfit from home.
We see 3 total, right?
I
We
think
see
so.
her arrival outfit. We
Mhm.
see like the darker colored one, and then the one she's wearing in this scene, which is that sort of jacket.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Like a shrug.
Where did she get these? Do you think?
She probably, I'm sure she got new digs when they went back to,
Decor.
Dakar, right?
They're like, here's all these dead rebels clothes. You can pick your way through this. Surely someone of these had opera gloves you can find, I'm sure.
Yeah. You have exactly 5 minutes before we have to move the story on.
Right.
To pick out some clothing.
I do love the idea, though, that, she's like, they stayed for another day, and so she didn't have clean clothes, so she's got to come out in like, Lando skiff guard disguise or like something like that. Like she just had to raid the Falcon's closet.
Should have been Han's jacket, just like Lando wears at the end of
Empire. Han's jacket with the thing.
Oh yeah, it should have been. And open up a closet and there's like 20 outfits.
Chewie's going, ugh, just again? Why does everyone go for that?
Well, much the same that all Rhodians all wear that same turquoise, peach ensemble. All the
and, if it works for your color,
yeah.
Do you think Leia left her Hoth outfit on? Oh no, she didn't, because she had switched back into it for the thing. What about her Bespin dress, Bespin gown?
But how long? How long was the ship on Jakku? I mean, I would assume that it was stripped pretty well of any contents that were in it.
Yeah, the Irvin boys tossed all that stuff.
Yeah. It is kind of weird that the Falcon was just left there without like the door even closed. But I guess that's a weird thing with Star Wars in general.
Right.
It almost seems like there wasn't a lot of forethought to why all of these elements were.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just sort of, it's there. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Because I would assume anything on a desert planet would get ransacked by Jawas like immediately. Do you want Jawas?
Well, I mean,
that's how you get
an
Jawas.
owner. I mean, it had an owner on Jakku. He owned the ship.
I mean, I think
it would have been cleaned out. Maybe
that
was airing out day. Maybe that was
leaving it like on his lawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it's getting a little stuffy. Maybe he lives on it.
It would be great if the ship took off and they're fighting and stuff, and then suddenly like the bathroom door opens and one of the what were they called? The Rover Boys? What was the owner of the ship basically comes out?
Yeah,
the Irving Boys.
Yeah. Although, as we
Duquesne?
learn, it's actually, what's his name ship?
Uncle Platt.
Uncle Plutz.
And this is what brought into canon the escape pod, right? Like the toys escape pod of the when Rey exits the Falcon and goes down to the.
Yeah, that's later, right?
Yeah, but this is the film that
Oh, yeah.
introduces
Yes.
that as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Excited to see more parts of the
Chewie had no
Falcon.
intention of leaving the Falcon. He was very comfortable staying this whole day and a half that Rey was up at the Airbnb.
They should have
Right.
cut to Chewie hanging out with the caretakers and stuff. Or actually, maybe it should have been a running gag where first we see him eating the porgs, and then by the end he's all fat because he's eating and he ate all the porgs on the island,
Just a pile of bones.
picking his teeth with a toothpick.
I mean, is that a different reason? Would that basically take out the porgs we see in the Falcon later in the film?
Yeah,
It's
that's
just, he's just like, I brought
his
some
breeding
food for
stock
later.
to go back later.
Right.
He's going to open up a chain of Porgo Locos. That's for you. That's for you, Joe Dater.
Good, you're giving gifts.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. I like it. It makes sense within this because it's like kind of what Ray is seeing about it. But again, the force, the force montage is interesting, and we do see a lot of different.
I mean, I don't
You
think
know.
we needed it. It is certainly an artistic touch that does feel alien to Star Wars. Like, it definitely gives the feeling of the film a different feeling than the visual language and the
Right.
filmmaking language we've gotten from Star Wars. So
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things that if you're looking for a lot of reasons not to like the film, you can point to as that just made me feel weird. That didn't feel like Star Wars either.
Right.
He's just being all fancy or
Yeah. Anything
school
new is
filmmaker.
not Star Wars.
I wonder if George Lucas was considered using flashbacks in like the prequels, or whether that was a conscious thing on his part where he was like, "I'm not going to show," because certainly, it's a mainstream
but
thing
as,
for most
but as a
flashback
storytelling
from the
language
prequel.
in film, how often were flashbacks being used at that time anyway? As just a tool that people would use.
Yeah, so that's why I'm surprised he did not, use it at all.
Also, that would have added so much to the budget to flashback to the Clone Wars during.
Well, no, I don't mean Star Wars. I mean the prequels. Star Wars,
the
obviously, there
prequels?
are
That's
That's what I'm
budgetary
saying. Where are you going
considerations.
to flashback to from the prequel?
Well, you can flash back to Ben meeting, Liam Neeson meeting. Oh, there's 1,000 different things you could show.
But there's
You could-
nothing narratively they talk about that requires a flashback in like Phantom Menace.
Right. Like this. And
And
again,
also the flashback for Attack of the Clones is Phantom Menace. And then the
Right.
flashback for.
Well, for instance, you could have, as they were going down into the planet's core, you could be talking about how, centuries ago, the humans came and enslaved all the Nububians, and that's why now they all live down underwater. Other universe building things like that. So I'm not saying that I would have wanted to see it. I'm just
Right.
surprised that Lucas didn't. There was a tool in the toolbox that he was like, nope, that's not a Star Wars thing. I'm not going to use that. Just same thing with like voiceover too. There's no voiceover or anything like that, or
right.
J splicing where, and montages. So
I'm just happy that this iteration of Star Wars Minute has given the world J splicing as a common use term.
That is the right thing, right? We're not getting that wrong.
No,
You're
let's
asking
not
us?
let's not correct it if it's wrong. Let it stand that now that's the terminology within the lore of this show.
Right.
Oh,
That's
I'm sure it's not.
everything that ever accomplishes that sort of audio trick is a J splice.
I always called it a sound bridge. And then somebody was
Got
like,
yelled
oh,
at
it's
you?
more of like a J splice. But now maybe I'm getting that wrong. Maybe it's not a J splice.
Maybe it's just like there are camps. There's a J splice camp and there's a sound bridge camp.
But
How did you two feel? Did you two feel that it sort of took you out of the moment? Did it feel weird within a Star Wars film to have a montage like that?
I liked it. The fact that it is in a moment where she's learning the Force, I think it's appropriate that it would be something that was kind of weird and different. So, I like it. I mean, it's, yeah, I'm fine with adding the new I'm fine with adding the new things. Didn't Force Awakens include a flashback?
Would you count Rey's flashback to being abandoned?
Yeah.
That would be a flashback.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's a flashback.
That's because everybody was just yelling at us saying that happened.
Right.
I heard it through the internet.
Okay. So I'm all fine with them broadening the visual language of Star Wars, adding new film tricks and things like that. It doesn't bother me. I mean, so we're already moving away from the original creator and his vision, so
what if you had the montage talking about the Force, but also Luke's floating head just sort of moving around all of the scenes as he talked about it?
Would it be somewhat transparent, or would it just be like his solid head literally floating around her?
Solid head.
Okay.
Tell me more. What else do you see? I'm still here.
Well, it kind of reminds me of those guided meditations my wife likes to do, where you sit there and you listen, and then it just breathe, listen to your breathing, and then don't focus on anything. And then every now and then to be like, just keep breathing, just keep I would have been in my meditative state if you didn't keep reminding me to focus on breathing.
Mark Hamill's voice now, which has this delightful character and grit to it. Like, what do you think? What do you see? Can you feel it? Can you feel the Force? Is it flowing? But it's also knowing that he's closed himself off from the Force. This is him guiding this meditation with the Force and feeling none of it. Like, I wonder how much of this is him also in just sort of a thinking back of, I don't have any connection to this right now. So you have to tell me what you see, what you feel. Because I would assume if he was one with the Force, he probably would have sensed some of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes her reaction to it for him to know what's going on, because he has no connection to it at this point. So he's wholly relying on, eventually her, when things go south, also letting him know.
I wonder what the details are of him quitting the Force.
Well, there's a written notice that had to be submitted.
Yeah, he handed in his badge.
But did he immediately, as soon as Kylo Ren blew up the temple, was he like, that's it, I'm done with the Force? Was it the kind of thing where, is it like quitting cigarettes, where he tried to stop using it?
Take this Force and shove it.
Because I would think using the Force to move stuff would become so useful that you wouldn't want to say, you know what, I'm not using that. I'm only going to use the Force for moving stuff from now on.
Right.
It seems like it'd be a useful thing.
Well, that's why he went completely into it. I'm just going to go separate myself from everything, so I'm not.
Caretakers do all the work.
Yeah,
they're the levitation.
They're my Force.
No, I would. Well, they're physically cleaning those rocks out after Rey blasts the hole. I would, at the very least, he didn't cut himself off until after he jettisoned the X-wing.
Maybe.
Oh, you don't think he I thought he parked it there and then
just made a quick jump out.
It was low tide, so just before all that garbage made the water levels get higher. So.
Before his vaporator started leaking.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't seen that story. We don't know if this was intended to be a long-term sabbatical, if this was supposed to be a hermitage, or just I need to get away for a break, and it turned into a longer thing.
Yeah.
As he became, more embittered, or just I'm done with it. I'm done.
Once he realized he couldn't fly his X-wing back, he's like, you know what? I'm going into hiding.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Once the tide came in, it's like, oh, geez. Like, you've told me not to park there.
I've been handed an update, which just to appease the film editors out there. The difference: there's a J cut and an L cut, and they're two different versions of the same thing.
So J splice is not a thing.
That's
J splice
just
is still
your
my
DJ
DJ
name.
name, yeah. But
okay, good.
But it's a J, like let's go like that and like that. What's a J? That a J is when the sound from the next scene starts before the next scene does, because the J, that's the leg of the J, is the sound coming in, and an L is when the sound from your current scene extends into the next scene. So depending on which way it's going, the bottom leg is the sound.
Oh yeah.
So if it comes in before your scene, that's a J cut. If it goes out after your scene, that's an L cut.
Interesting.
Welcome to the film school episode.
Exactly.
We talked about montages and flashbacks and their use in filmmaking, and J cuts and L cuts, and DJ J splice
voiceovers.
along those lines, was there anything else that you wanted to say about this movie? We've kind of gone a little bit all over the place, but I know we've had a lot to say. But is there anything, Ken? This is your last chance to talk about The Last Jedi. Do you have anything else that you wanted to give us a shot at?
I enjoy the film. I enjoyed it when I first saw it. It has only grown on me since. I appreciate it more as time and other media goes on. I very much like that it had an inclination and a desire to explore this world and the Force and what it all means, and these new characters that were presented in this new trilogy. And I like a little bit of experimentation in Star Wars so it doesn't become stagnant. And so I appreciate it more and more as time goes by for those aspects of it. From a storytelling perspective, from a production perspective. And also, this is probably, of the three, my favorite use of the core cast and their performances therein. This one, to me, feels like where everyone was the most invested in playing around with these characters. This is a film that feels in service to the characters rather than the plot.
Definitely. It's the most invested Harrison Ford has ever been.
Yeah. I'm not
in Star
here.
Wars.
Yeah. Whenever he doesn't have to be someplace, he's the most invested.
Right. Well, thanks. I agree, and I'm glad you also like the movie because it's fun. We're having fun. We're having fun. Having fun.
Right?
Having fun.
That's fun.
Well, you really sold it. What do you feel? What do you really feel? Reach out. Tell me what you.
What's that
I
about?
can feel it. I can feel it. The fun. But yeah, thanks again for being on this week, and we expect to talk to you again soon, either on a weekend show or we've got solo next year.
I am here whenever. I'd love to be back.
And maybe do take a if you could take a quick screenshot of your camera there, and we'll post it for the people to see exactly. It'll be like a find the hidden images thing. Pick out all the Star Wars stuff. Because
whoever names the most will win absolutely nothing.
Exactly. And listeners, I just mentioned the weekend show. If you want to check that out, it's on StarWarsMinute.com/Patreon. That's if you support us at various levels, you'll get various things, including bonus episodes. You can get some prints made by Alex. Now that things are potentially opening back up again, we might go to some sports games in the future. Who knows what we could have.
No one.
If you support us on StarWarsMinute.com/Patreon. And
I've been on some of that content. It's fun.
It's not fun. And we will, other than that, we'll see you back here, hopefully on Monday, for a brand new episode of Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Goodbye.